Hey guys, it's Two with my kids Saturday night. I was building up a suspense yesterday by saying that we were really live today. Super excited for today's show. Hope you're all having a really good day, and we're just gonna go straight into this. Hey man, how's it going?
Mike, how are you, sir?
Pretty good. No, it was really good today. We're just gonna jump right into this.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, guys, welcome to Tea with Mike, episode number 19. Joining me today is Morgan LeBlanc. Welcome to the show, Morgan.
Oh, thanks for having me, Michael.
Yeah, no problem. So we're gonna start with a little like tea fact to the day to get us in the right mood. Um,
All right.
until World War II, tea was still used as a form of currency in Siberia, and this comes from kickassfacts.com.
Really? Okay.
So Morgan, like, what's your favorite type of tea?
Oh, I think Rooibos. Rooibos is fantastic, but I am a frequent steeper at David's Tea, so the possibilities are endless.
And
Yes.
how often would you say in a day that you kind of like drink tea? Is it to kickstart the day? Is it to relax at the end of the day?
Once a day, I think. Yeah, we have some free tea at work, and so I just put the old tea bag in the cup in the morning and go about my day. I think it's lemon tea I have
Lemon
first thing in the
tea?
morning. Yeah.
Nice man. So let's just and of course I've got my favorite English breakfast tea
Ooh,
that I always
classy
drink.
choice.
It's a nice strong black tea.
Yeah, well, that's nice.
I could get a little bit more adventurous, but you
Mm.
probably know, maybe not on tea, but other things. When you find something that you really like and it becomes part of your routine, you're kind of almost reluctant to change it.
Oh, see, I'm a bit different. I agree with the routine part, but I feel like if you limit yourself to only the things you like, you'll never learn and experience new things. So there's something to be said about sticking to a routine, but there's also something to be said about trying new things for sure.
Nice. So do you want to tell the Tea with Mike audience a little bit about you? Because I know you have your hands in lots of different things.
A little bit about me. Well, I'm from the Northwest Territories, which is it's really desolate, really cold, really isolated. But I'm currently an actor and a producer and an executive producer. And I kind of do some casting and stuff as well here in Alberta. Yeah, and I got a bunch of projects on the go. We just finished one. It's in color. No, I think we're done color grade now, and so then we're just waiting on sound mix and composition, and then hopefully we'll be in theaters. But if not, we'll do like a premiere and then hopefully get it on the internet on like Crave or Netflix or something. It's tough. It's not an easy task, but those are the goals for sure.
Nice. Do you want to kind of talk a little bit about like so let's say there's someone that has a crazy idea like to do with film, like what steps do they need to take in order to turn it in to
Hmm.
appearing on the screen at a theater?
Well, that's a tough question. But locally, you would kind of a smart way would be to get involved with the local film community, grab a mentor maybe. Yeah, just talk to people that are in the industry, and then they can kind of direct you the right way. For me specifically, like we've had lots of people come to us with ideas that aren't crazy. They're ideas, right? There isn't a bad like well there are bad ideas, but there isn't necessarily a bad idea. It just may not be the right time for an idea. So for me personally, it's yeah, let's talk about it. Let's hear, why do you think it's a good idea? Because that to me is more important than the idea itself, is who it appeals to, or why it's impactful, or those types of things. It's or why is that idea something that you want to share with people? Because some people are kind of not insecure, but some people, have ideas and they go, do I want to share this with people? Is this crazy? Am I crazy? No, this is a good idea, right? So some of that, like the more you can express to someone why this is powerful to you, will likely go further in their eyes, I would say.
So you're talking about creating ideas that you're passionate about, that you truly believe in, and you can pitch it to others and get them on board with your crazy idea or concept.
Well, 100%. And the reason being is if it's just kind of a fly by night idea, that's great, except like our first movie, it took a year and a half to start rolling the camera, like from
Oh wow,
conception.
okay.
Well, and technically it took 10 years, but from the moment that I came on board, it took a year and a half. And so if you say, well, I really like this idea. Do I want to grind it out for a year and a half? No. Well, maybe it's not a good idea. If it's something that you have to tell the world, it's way more likely to be told than just, oh, I don't know, is this good? Is this, you have to really be committed to it 110%, because if you're trying to pitch it to someone, or, you're talking to somebody about it, they can tell that this isn't necessarily your number one project or idea. Do you know what I mean?
So you're kind of saying that you need the person who has the initial idea needs to be super invested, kind of like passionate
Hmm.
about it. And if some of those factors aren't there, then you should keep like kind of keep thinking of ideas till there's that
Keep
one that you really want to drive through the wall. Like keep going with,
Yeah,
persevere
but
with it.
even just research too, right? Like if you said, oh yeah, this has never been done before. Well, okay, why hasn't it been done before? Is there a reason? A lot of us, kind of joke about some of the movies that are all like movies are very similar. Like The Matrix is the same movie as Monsters Inc. People don't realize that, but it's the same thing. It's just got a different flavor, different, so there's kind of that kind of double-edged sword where you're like, well, it's never been done before. Well, maybe because no one, like, people know, hey, you shouldn't touch that. So yeah, the more you do your research and flush out the idea, is this good? Fine tune the idea, because then then it becomes a real idea. Because it's one thing to just say, yeah, this is going to be great. Well, if you say this is going to be great because X, Y, Z, all the way from ABC, it's that much more powerful as well.
Nice. So just to can you touch a little bit more on the kind of like the research aspect of an idea? What sort of when you come up with an idea, what sort of things do you kind of need to research? Kind of maybe talk a little bit from your personal experience as a director, actor, executive
Uh,
producer.
well, it's tough because what so some of the stuff we'll look at is current events, and some of like the political and social climates, they kind of dictate what we want to see. Because if there's a terrible president in the United States, maybe that's not necessarily my opinion, but if it's someone that is a fear monger, or the people of the United States are feeling negative, do you want to make negative movies, or do you want people to feel better? When times are really good, do you want to make really good movies, or do you want to kind of change up people's perspectives, have them experience
Yeah.
something that they're not currently experiencing, because then maybe they're more drawn to it. So there's that kind of research. The other side of research too would be, okay, so here's my idea. What is it similar to? Oh, it's similar to this. It's similar to Saw. It's a horror. Okay, well then look up other horrors and look up, how were they profitable? Because really, at the end of the day, money dictates
Yeah.
film and most industries, because it's very driven on results. And so, if you compare your movie and go, oh, we could probably make this for this, well, then if you just do some cross-referencing of math, okay, well, our budget is half of what their budget is. Well, maybe you can bank on making half of the profit that they made. So it's just kind of simple math, but it's just part of the research as well, because you have to know where it's going to be marketable as well. So if like Germans, say, are super heavy into slashers, okay, well, obviously your target audience now is Germany, potentially, right? So there's all these little things that kind of play
Variables.
into, yeah, oh, so many
Yeah.
variables, yeah. Right, like one person could be famous in Germany and Japan, but you come to North America, you're like, who? Who? I don't,
Yeah.
never heard of them.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so that would also play into your research of what kind of actors do you want, like what a familiar face. Yeah, okay, if we had Christian Bale, wonderful, fantastic. Right, but if you're like, well, we're making a film that is very has a strong audience in Japan, well then maybe we should have a very popular Japanese actor actress. You know what I mean? And that's a part of knowing your audience, the research. Yeah.
You've kind of touched on it, but you want to expand a little bit on stuff. So kind of, it's great to have a really crazy idea that you really believe in. But what other like skills do you need within the whole skill set to kind of like increase the variables of it potentially making profit is the ultimate goal, isn't it?
True, it's very true. That's a tough question because I don't know if there's necessarily a definitive, for sure answer. The way that I always equate film is the same as any job, trades, any of that stuff. If Mike, you come to me and you have an idea, and I go, okay, that's fantastic. Have you ever done this before? You go, no. I go, well, then how do you know what to do? How do you know that's a good idea? You should maybe get some people that get behind you to say, yeah, this kid knows what he's talking about. He's read all these books. He's demonstrated it to me. He hasn't done it yet, but I have faith that he can do it. Because that's like if your pipes break at your house, you don't call an electrician. You call a plumber. And it's the same
Yes.
for film. If you want an actor, you you don't get a plumber. You just don't. He's gonna be like, what do we? I don't know what to, And I wouldn't want an actor to fix my plumbing. No, right? So it is kind of the same as any other industry. It's just a bit different. So yeah, my answer, I guess, my long answer, I'm very long-winded, is yeah, just get people around you to believe in you, because that is a powerful thing as well, especially if it's a complete stranger. You go up to this film guy or director and go, listen, I have this great idea, and he goes, yeah, let's do this. Well, now you've gained. It's a powerful thing when someone you absolutely do not know has faith in you or believes in you to do something. It's a pretty amazing feeling, right? So it's acquiring those things, surrounding yourself with people that are in the industry, that are respected, that are knowledgeable, because otherwise you could just end up wasting a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money potentially. Nobody wants to do that. Well, I don't want to waste time. I don't really care about money, but time, you don't get that back. You can make more money. You can't get time back.
Nice. Uh, from what I've seen on social media and some of the similar people that we're now connected with, do you want to talk a little bit about core values and why you think that's been successful? Because I've seen you on magazine covers now, and there's a real buzz on social media about it.
Well, why was it successful? I would say it was successful because we we set out to make core values, and that's what we were going to do. Come hell or high water, that's what we were doing, right? And so we just put all of our energy into it, and so it was tough. It was very tough, but we didn't take no for an answer. And yes, we got a lot of no's. A lot of people said no, and that's a big part of well, anything is there's rejection. And so I think it was successful because we did it regardless. We're just like, this is what we're doing, and we're doing it. And we filmed in the middle of winter,
Oof.
and so the dedication, I think, was a big thing. Like, we were dedicated to make it happen, but then the people that were on board were also very dedicated to make the shot, to set this up, to go get that, to achieve this. So it was a very synergistic team effort, in my opinion. And yeah, we had really great people. We had really positive people, because times get tough, and you're cold,
Yeah.
you're tired, and if you're just ready to throw the towel in, well, it's fine. But you have to finish. You've set out to do this, and we can get more blankets. We may not get the shot because the moon is up and it's beautiful and we need it in the background. So I think just the collaborative effort, and just, yeah, the positive energy. I don't really remember too many negative days. I mean, there's negative situations where you go, oh my God, but yeah, it was just positive. And I'm definitely a glass half full kind of guy, and I think I admire that. But I think it's a really powerful thing. Moving forward positively is way more powerful than moving backward negatively.
Nice. So you kind of touched on it, and we touched on it a few moments ago too. That kind of that importance of surrounding yourself with the right people, that whole community aspect, kind of networking too. So how
Oh,
many
huge.
people? So how many different people, if you know fully, like were involved with from the idea all the way through to it appearing on the screens, like locally
Whew.
too, and even further adrift.
Well, that's a tough question. That's a tough question because on the credits, let's just say there's 100 people. Well, they physically had a part in creating the film, but there's so many other people and there's so many other businesses that
Yeah.
that truly make it happen. Like as simple as the caterer. Yes, we credited them, but we didn't credit everybody in the kitchen. We didn't credit
Yeah.
the driver. We didn't credit, so there were so many people. The hotel attendants that we stayed at. The manager of the hotel. Some of our sponsors and their wives or their husbands. That stand by them at in their ventures. Technically, from a long web,
That's true.
have a positive effect on the film as well, because if you have a negative influence at home and someone going, no, you shouldn't do that, no, well then maybe you'll second guess that. And so there's always those behind the scenes heroes that we don't necessarily know about, because how do you credit them? I don't know
Yeah.
that guy's husband's wife's name. So there's and that's kind of why film to me is such a powerful thing, because it's so collaborative. First of all, like artistically it's so collaborative, but then it's very communal. Like it's like you're saying, like there's so many people come together to make it happen, from vehicles, rental places, and everybody involved with those. So many, like the places we buy costumes from, the places we buy props from, the places we buy regular everyday office stuff from.
Yeah, I guess the list is huge now that you start
it's
to
it's
expand on it.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, when you really elaborate on it, it is huge. And that's for us, it's very frustrating that there isn't a lot more encouragement for film, because it affects so many people. It's just like any big job or any big building or any big pipeline. It affects the offshoots. Yeah, okay, maybe there isn't a ton, but it definitely affects more than just the workers that are working on it directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lots of ripples on the shore, if you will.
Nice. So do you remember, you may not, like the very first movie that you ever created, or like what inspired you to get into the whole film industry, etc.?
I do remember it. It was really, really goofy. We were I was in high school, and I absolutely love American Psycho. It's a wonderful movie. It's beautiful. It's creepy, but it's powerful. It sends a real message to a certain demographic, and maybe just in life in general. Don't take it too serious, And so, we're Canadian, and so I set out to make a short called Canadian Psycho, which was a bit of a parody. The guy wore a beaver pelt, plaid shirt, which I'm wearing right now, ironically. And we just kind of did like this spoofy, funny, kind of creepy thing. And it was just the most fun. And it was just my best friends, right? But it was just so fun. Like we couldn't stop laughing. And you see the bloopers, in Hollywood and all those movies.
Yeah.
And you think how can that be work? That's not work. That looks like the funnest day that everyone has ever had. And it was for us. It was just so fun, and you laugh, and you laugh so hard you cry, and then if it's a really intimate scene, then the relationships you build are so different because you're being so raw, and it's also because you're being so true to your heart about what you want to do, which encourages incredible friendships and it's a vulnerability, but it's not. It's a welcoming vulnerability, and so just that whole thing. It's unique. It's very unique to the industry, and I don't think that. I don't know if there's another industry where it exists aside from other artistic endeavors. But yeah, it's just a real powerful, raw emotions are flying around. Yeah, I wish I had a link to it, because I'm sure I'd have at least 300 views. I don't know.
But that touches on a good point. Like anything creative, it should always come from a place of passion and heart versus 300 people like the post, because it's more about how you feel putting out that piece of content, right?
Oh, for sure, and it will reflect that content as well. Because if and I think I'm not a big fan of musicians changing their direction. Like a band, they do this, they do this, they do this, they do this, and all of a sudden they change. I respect it as an artist, but if they're not doing it from the heart, which is maybe why they became famous, or their first album was incredible because they were trying to make it. It was still from the soul. It's way more powerful to me. And same with film. If you're making it because I think that we should make this kind of film because that's what's hot right now. Who cares? Do what you're powerful about.
Nice.
It's like comedians. Comedians probably make themselves laugh more than anybody else.
Yes.
Right. And so then other people are like, that's funny too. I have a similar sense of humor. Yeah, because someone will share my sense of humor. Maybe it's only 5, maybe it's 10,000. I don't know. So
But
just do you,
do you?
and
Yeah.
likely people will appreciate that, or like there's something going on with that guy, and it's powerful, and I gotta come along for the ride. I gotta check that out.
Nice. So like, so what other projects have you kind of got in the works right now? Because obviously there's always something new coming along
Whew, that's a loaded question. Well,
that you can tell, I guess, because
oh,
some
I
of them
could
may be secret.
talk about them for days. You know what? Like secret, keeping it secret is almost there's a reason to do that in a sense. I don't like to talk about stuff until they're happening, just because I think it's a bit of a it's
Yeah. Okay. And so I will keep talking as we wait for Morgan to keep joining the stream. Like, thank you. Like, this episode is going really well. Let's see if Morgan's gonna jump back in. Hey, Morgan. We kind of had a little tea fact of the day. Oh, and I think that's like how we're gonna end this episode. Morgan was great. We had an awesome tea. We had some awesome tea facts about Siberia using tea as a form of currency. Morgan touched on core values and the successes of the film. He talked about how he got started in film, um, uh, and some of the how any creative content that you do should come from a place of passion and heart, and you shouldn't do it necessarily for the engagement and just because something is trending. And that is all we have time for on today's Tea with Mike. This was Tea with Mike, episode number 19. Morgan was great. And stay tuned for all the great things coming on Tea with Mike. Hopefully, launching the YouTube channel very soon. Get the podcast up and running. I'm just going to keep engaging with all you fantastic people in the community. And I will see you again very soon. Tea with Mike, episode number 19. Thanks for joining me. Have a great night.